Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. Before I begin this video, I'd like to point out that every system of the governing class, every system of every other nation, okay, and the American system has failed. My morally precise system is the only system that hasn't failed, that wouldn't fail. This video is about how I know better than everyone else about what the government should do, what people should do, why, how people should date, what have you. You'll see that I'm right. It's a very kind of extraordinary claim, but you'll see that I must be right. And they cause me to stumble on my words because they know I'm right. And you'll see that in this video as well. So look at the screen here. So I respond to this guy's comment. And this guy's comment isn't just one guy commenting. That is the central Republican line, right? Tax breaks for the rich, trying to focus on America, America first, you name it. That is the central Republican argument. His argument is that there should be an American History Month. Now let's stop here for a second. Do we take American history in grade school in this country? Last I checked, we did, right? What about junior high? We do. What about high school and college? Yes. Are there countless movies about American history? The Patriot, right? Movies about Abraham Lincoln, Gettysburg, what have you. So why would we need an American History Month? Think about it. I mean, discussing American history is one thing, but why do we need a month? Why do we have a Black History Month to begin with? Because black people are clearly stigmatized. Okay? For the most part. There was slavery. There was the Jim Crow, Reconstruction, the slave codes. Martin Luther King assassinated. Huey Newton, Malcolm X. The Black Panther Party was basically eradicated. The people around these days aren't quite the same. And so on and so forth. Black people historically, when I was younger, they were 13% of America, owned less than 1% of the capital. And the school system is obviously for white people, by white people. And that's before you even factor in the fact that white schools quite often have better teachers, better supplies, what have you. And the government is mostly white. Pretty straightforward, right? So who on earth would wonder why people feel the need to have a Black History Month? But these points, even if you reject these points, you're still going to see that I'm right. Watch. So he says, why don't we have an American history? So then I say, okay, a very simple question. This question could very well prove him right, if he's right about it, right? If his argument's true. He avoids it. Why? Because the question proves him wrong. I say, name the top 5 things you like about America, the top 5 best things, and name the top 5 worst things, and compare the two. He doesn't want to do it. He runs from that argument. Instead, he does what's called avoiding the argument. It's a common tactic people use when they're wrong. They even talked about it when I was in college. It's so common, they said, hey, this is commonly what they do. They avoid the argument, they oversimplify, they build straw men. Watch out for that. And so he then says, well, compare America to other nations. One of the main conservative misconceptions out there, a main American Republican misconceptions out there. It's an interesting argument. They're just on the way wrong side of it. So he says that the country has escaped from the problems of the past. Really? The vast majority of people of color in this country do not agree. The vast majority of people in this country do not agree. They think racism is still a problem. See, one of those white supremacists says, no, it's not a problem. You haven't escaped from it. Blacks are still disproportionately poor. Why is that? We see them when they're gangsters, when they're basketball players. We see so many smart black people. A lot of them are doctors, and most black people don't live in the ghetto, right? They're disproportionately sabotaged, and they're disproportionately poor. We haven't escaped from it. So when he said we've escaped from it, he was downplaying a fact that proves him wrong. Part of the reason we don't have an American History Month is because we have not escaped from these problems completely. There are all kinds of problems. In 1 year in Chicago, there was over 600 homicides because of racism, because of the refusal of the nation to fix the economic problems. Why don't you hire more police officers? Create more jobs? Why don't you, reconfigure the laws? Why don't you address these problems? So on the one hand, Republicans are like, hey, leftists are ruining this country, downplaying their part in it. And on the other hand, they say, well, we've escaped these problems and we're doing great compared to other countries. So then I bring up Nazi Germany. I say, you know what? If Nazi Germany had sabotaged other countries and then said, hey, compare Nazi Germany to other countries, is that fair? Is that logical? Is that an argument they should be proud of? Is that not a disgraceful fucking argument? Now keep in mind, I can respect this person to a certain degree because they bothered to discuss things with me and they didn't run away at the first sign that I wasn't playing the game. So he then says, well, no one's saying America's perfect. And then he says that they've given more than enough aid to other countries. See, there's a certain kind of avoidance going on here. He kind of says, well, he's going to lose that topic on that point, so he shifts to another point, which is somewhat fair, right? It's not the worst example of that. It's somewhat fair. Okay? But then he gets kind of checkmated on his last point. This is why I won the exchange, and the implications are extreme. The implications are profound. The implications are enormous. The domino effect that occurs when people take his stance, and that includes left-wing people that sympathize with him, is very intense. Now remember, his original argument was that he thinks that America should have an American History Month. Okay? It wasn't that America's perfect. However, what led up to him saying that has to do with his preconceived notions, right? His misconceptions. He has certain false beliefs that cause him to behave a certain way. He probably sees through his own lies, his own propaganda, almost completely. But he's committed to the course of action of making that conservative argument and committing to it. And that right there is what propaganda is designed to do. They don't care so much if you know that you're BSing. They want you to commit to a compartment that is part of the whole, to be part and parcel with the process of causing all the suffering that is caused in the world, instead of carrying your cross and telling the pure truth and accepting the punishment like a man. A man's got to be able to stand on his own 10 toes. A man's got to stand for what's right. And virtue means man. So he says America's given enough aid to other countries, and he says, well, why should we have to? You say, hey, we're doing that because we're nice, not because we have to. Because you're nice. So if you massacre a kindergarten and give a kid a lollipop, okay, is the answer to say, hey, you did that because you're nice, not because you have to. And you see how that connects to the other argument. I said if Nazi Germany had sabotaged these, see how he avoided that? Because it proves that argument wrong as well. The argument made was that America has sabotaged a bunch of other countries with other developed nations. Look up colonialism. If you have even a basic grade school understanding of colonialism, then you know that these countries have not recovered from colonialism, and something called neocolonialism is going on that keeps them down as well. There's proxy leaders. You don't have to know the Cold War by heart to know that there are proxy leaders in underdeveloped nations, and they accept certain policies from developed nations because they're being coerced. It's like you have a gun to their head and say, you better do it this way. And everyone who said no got killed, and now the rest of the guys have their heads down like, okay. And you think that the resulting environment is something you can compare to your country, which is the one who's coercing them, right? That's sick. Not just wrong, that's sick. He committed to a sick course of action. Again, I'm not trying to bash this guy, I'm just trying to help you understand. This is not about whether or not that guy, is an asshole. This is about why I should be in charge, why my policies should be in charge. And keep in mind, I'm the top martial artist ever possible. Not someone just kindly pointing this out. I'm pointing this out almost to the same degree. But the top martial arts ever possible. Martial arts are lifestyles. You have to choose between the top martial arts ever possible and a liberal who every once in a while tells the pure truth about things. Who should you vote for? I go on to say, well, America has over 164 trillion in wealth. And that's not including the assets. I'm pretty sure it's not including the assets of the state. It's just the rich and the poor's wealth put together. 162 trillion with the rich and 2 trillion with people who are in the bottom 50% or whatever it was. Have $164 trillion while 9 million people starve to death every year, including 3 million children. How many of you think the answer isn't to work with other nations in the world, to spend, maybe 5-10 trillion over time to end world hunger and to make sure they're set after that? It's straightforward. There's not a small disagreement about an insignificant issue here. These are drastically different arguments about how the world should be. His plan doesn't come with ending world hunger in a way that's extremely affordable. Mine does. Open and shut. The fuck can conservatives say after that? And any liberal who says the same thing, America first, you can do both at the same fucking time, you dumbass. And when you say America first, everyone on this planet knows you're talking about not sending foreign aid, not collaborating with these other countries and sending more foreign aid. That's what you're saying. Don't try to play that off either. We all know that. You even spelled it out in the comments. My dating arguments are very similar. It's open and shut. No other way it could be. And you get these fucking assholes who do not understand life at all, who are trying to get females to keep dating the pathetic way that they are, or a way that's a variation of fucking pathetic, relative to their white supremacists, Jewish supremacists, LGBT supremacists, or any other asshole supremacist fucking agenda, any other dickhead fucking agenda. That's why I should be in charge, not the masses of dumb motherfuckers.